Quds was attacked by Hamas, and children, in fact, were killed at the hands of the Hamas militants. Now, my colleague Siddhant is currently also, he's done an interview with Yossi Zilberman, who's the deputy spokesperson of MFA. Let's take a look at that chat.
To see 18 and perhaps finding out time to do this interview. So my first question to you is that yesterday it was James Cleverly in Tel Aviv. Today Antony Blinken has just landed in Tel Aviv, and perhaps we have been told that he's going to go and meet the victims of Hamas terror. And then there is also a possibility of a brief press interaction. If you could please elaborate a little bit on his visit, and how does Foreign Ministry of Israel look at this visit of Antony Blinken, especially in these times when Israel is fighting its biggest battle ever?
Absolutely. I think that what we're seeing is an example of solidarity, of international solidarity, of our good friends around the world. And as you've mentioned, Foreign Secretary James Cleverly yesterday visited Ofakim, a city in the southern part of Israel, and witnessed the horror that happened there. I myself was with the delegation, and I saw and we met families that faced face-to-face terrorists that threatened their lives, that were hitting, were abusing civilians. We're talking about absolute civilians in Ofakim and in other villages and towns around the southern part of Israel. And as you've mentioned, Foreign Secretary Blinken has just landed in Israel 20 minutes ago, and our Foreign Minister Eli Cohen met him at his arrival. And this is another example of the strong bond that we with America have. And I'm sure that we all heard the moving speech of President Biden, talking about the deep-rooted connection, the alliance between the United States and Israel, and especially Israel's right to defend itself in this time of crisis. And this international support as well, that we just spoke about that a few seconds ago, from so many Indians and from India itself, for us, it is not only heartwarming, but it gives us as well the leverage to continue to fight for the security of our citizens.
Okay. I also want to know from you that one U.S. warship, Gerald R. Ford, is already in Eastern Mediterranean. We can expect warship Eisenhower also to be moved to Eastern Mediterranean with 90 plus fighter aircrafts, destroyers, and perhaps Joe Biden has also assured Israel for the supply of ammunitions to the Iron Dome. Then there was a warning also which was given by Joe Biden to the other players in the region, and in fact to the non-state actors, that don't try to take advantage of the situation. If in case, now here we are, that if in case, suppose that some non-state actors try to take advantage, or perhaps any other country try to get indulged, can we expect America entering war officially?
I'm not the spokesperson of the United States, but I am positive, as President Biden said, that Israel will not be left alone in this situation. And we hope. You have mentioned northern actors. I'm calling Hezbollah in its name. I think that even people in Lebanon understand that Hezbollah, as Hamas, are cancer in those in those countries. What do I mean? When they try to affect the policy of Lebanon. Many people in Lebanon don't want Lebanon to enter this event. They see what is going on right now in Gaza, where the cancer, which is Hamas, has inflicted on the citizens and civilians of Gaza. And I'm sure that the Lebanese as well don't want to see the same pictures as Israel has proven if we need to protect our citizens and civilians, we will know, Israel will know how to defend itself. But as you've mentioned, the military power that the US is pushing forward into the Middle East, into the Mediterranean, is mainly a message, that America, that United States, that the civilized world is with Israel.
Okay, so let's talk about India. As we were talking before this interview, that how a lot of love, solidarity is pouring in on Israel from India. Now, yesterday, External Affairs Minister Jay Shankar announced Operation Ajay to rescue 18,000 Indians in Israel back to the country. Now, this is again an evacuation a program that has been launched by Government of India. I'm sure it must be in coordination with your government. If you have some details, or perhaps if you can elaborate a little bit on Operation Ajay.
I would say that there are foreign civilians that are here from different countries that ask to be evacuated. We already got questions and requests from countries in Europe, in South America, and of course from Asia.
Audio.
Are trying to help facilitate the situation. In many cases, by the way, there is in a way barter of Israeli young people or people who want to come and defend the country, that are
Reservists.
located, for instance, in Peru or in Brazil, and there is a plane that bringing them home in order to join the army and to join the events, and this plane takes the other citizens, the foreign citizens, back to their homeland. So this is happening in different countries. Perhaps it will happen as well with India, where there are so many Israeli travelers. As we know, India is a very popular destination for the Israeli traveler.
Yes.
So perhaps it will be in the same context. Even if not, there is a coordination. And of course, the coordination between Israel and India is so positive and is so fruitful in peaceful times. It will be also relevant, unfortunately, in those dreadful and difficult times.
Okay. If I talk about the landings and takeoff at the Tel Aviv airport, is it really difficult because of the missiles coming from Gaza Strip, the operations at the airport?
The airport works regularly. People can come, people can leave. It is crucial for us to maintain this junction, this aerial junction, open and relevant. And it's still, although there are from time to time challenges, let's say, during alarms and during events that are of high peak situations, but in regular times, even as we speak, the airport is open and functional, and everything is working as usual.
Okay. Sir, my question is also regarding some reports of air infiltration from the northern parts of Israel, the borders on the northern parts. In fact, there were reports of Hezbollah, Lebanon officially entering, but later the clarification came from IDF saying that there was nothing substantial found on ground. How does Israel look at situation on the northern borders, and what precautions are being taken?
I think that there are precautions that are taken in any case of the situation. Israel is facing war, and Israel is in a very special situation where things are not as conducted as planned, and we are facing a brutal enemy, as we know, and our situation right now is trying to maintain the events as calm as possible. As you've mentioned, the events in the north were a warning sign for us, but it is also a warning sign for Hezbollah and for Lebanon. I think that the security, our defense minister and security forces have said it very bluntly. If the northern border will be quiet, the peace will be there. But if things will evolve, Israel has the capability, and we, as I've mentioned, the support of the US is welcomed always, but Israel is a strong country. We have a strong army, and we have the ability to defend our citizens in the north and in the south, even at the same time. And if things will happen, we will know how to react. And I'm sure that the Israeli government will know how to handle the situation, and the Israeli army will know how to handle this event.
Okay, sir, the next question is regarding the hostage. There are more than 100 people. In fact, some of them are not the Israeli citizens. They're from America, they're from UK, have been held hostage by Hamas. And so can we expect some sort of a negotiation with Hamas? Or in fact, the Spectator Index is quoting the energy minister of Israel that the water and food supply will be started to Gaza only when Hamas is going to give the hostage back to Israel. Is there any that sort of a decision that has been made by the government of Israel to get the hostage back safely to rescue them?
We are not in the moment of negotiations. We're in the moment of inflicting pain on the terrorists that have created chaos in Israel and abducted innocent civilians. You have mentioned foreign citizens. I will mention as well children, women, elderly on wheelchairs. We're talking about, sometimes we say that they are animals, but even animals don't act in these circumstances without any reason. And here, there is no reason. People came to hurt, to kill, to massacre, to inflict pain, just as an event of joy. And this is something our hostages right now we are very, very worried about them. But it will not divert us and divert Israel from inflicting pain on the terrorists that have killed more than 1,200 Israelis in a few hours, and most of them are citizens. This is something that is unheard of. I don't know how many viewers know how many people there are in Israel. In Israel, we are almost 10 million people, just a bit smaller than India. And for us, 1,200 people that were massacred in an event, I will leave you to do the ratio between India and Israel about this number. You know that almost every family here in Israel knows someone that was murdered in this event. This is unheard of. And in that situation, there is no way that we're going to stop till we will inflict pain and we will destroy the infrastructure of Hamas.
Okay. How do you look at the positioning of the West Asian countries? In fact, in India also, we have been reporting that how countries like Qatar is a safe house for the political leadership of Hamas. Then, in fact, some of the other West Asian countries, including, in fact, Iran, the kind of position they have taken, the statements coming from Ayatollah Khomeini, appreciating Hamas or perhaps, talking good about them. How do you look at the changing scenario, perhaps evolving scenario in West Asia?
I think that a terror regime like Tehran knows and perhaps identifies very well with a terror regime like Hamas and terrorist groups like the Islamic Jihad and Hezbollah You are talking about here about the axis of evil. Absolutely. You're talking about, and as you saw, just in September, we were marking 3 years of the Abraham Accords. 3 years that Israel proved that we are not the obstacle for peace in the Middle East. We are looking to expand and to deepen the relations between us and Arab and Muslim countries. To even nowadays, I can say that very bluntly. We have created bridges between us and the UAE. Are created a new Middle East, but there are some countries that are still stuck in the old and terrorist Middle East, and those are Iran, Hamas, Hezbollah, Islamic Jihad, Daesh, ISIS. These are the organizations.
Yes. I am aware. Yes. I'm aware about the position of Israel or for Iran, Hamas, ISIS. But I want to know the position of your country on Qatar, because here in India also we are reporting that how lavish lives these Hamas senior political wing leaders live in Qatar. They live in villas. They live in 5 stars. They drive luxury vehicles. Is there going to be any sort of a dialogue with Qatar, telling them that look, enough is enough? And I'm talking about Ismail, the leader, their political wing leader, who stays in Qatar. So, what is your government's position on that?
I will be very clear. We are not in the hour of dialogue. We are not there, and we are, and as our officials even yesterday mentioned, every Hamas leader is a target. There is no differentiation from our part, especially after we saw the pictures of Ismail Haniyeh and Yahya Sinwar and other Hamas members, whether they are the political wing or the military wing, they are all terrorists, and they are all responsible for the events that occurred in Saturday in Israel. And we are not creating any dialogue through a third party or, of course, directly with Hamas in this situation, where, if, by the way, if they want to let free the hostages, by all means, do that. I think that they are under huge pressure by countries like Qatar, Turkey, countries that understand that the Hamas went too far with his extremism. I mean, you are talking about, as I said, beasts that hurt citizens and not in an engagement of war. They literally massacred civilians. So in this point, and to be honest, I don't see any point of us speaking with Hamas in order to facilitate something. And if they want to create some kind of corridor to bring back the hostages, by all means. But we are not dealing with them in any political way. There is no way for a dialogue with people who come to murder us.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for speaking to CNN News 8.